Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the final word. Crystal Palace 3, Everton 1. Another, well, shambolic performance, really, from Everton. First time we've been beaten by Crystal Palace in, what?
26 years at their place. Right?
26 years.
Got some firsts in, hasn't he?
Says a lot. Says a lot. Yeah, just a really, really bad performance off the back of, you know, the best performance of the season against Arsenal, and yet we threw it all out the window and showed nothing of the same kind of character or aggression or you know, anything really. And you know, another defeat to a team in and around us as well, which is the worrying thing for me. The worrying thing for me is this idea that, you know, we've got tough fixtures and there's teams around us who are beating us, who are getting points off us, and that's the worrying thing. And I'm not sure how long this can continue.
Yeah, I mean, it's all very well not getting a kick against Liverpool and City, which have been two of our last few games, you know, because they are far, far superior to us. But yesterday, we couldn't get near Palace, and certainly in the opening 30 minutes, we couldn't get near them. You know, and only that they're not brilliant in the final third. They could have put a better team, or sorry, if they had a little bit more of a cutting edge, they would have put us to bed in that opening half an hour, because they knock it round well. They thoroughly deserved the victory. They played well, but for us, to be so flat. And you listen, Monday against Arsenal last week, you knew what was going to happen. We'd just been hammered in a derby. It's at home. The players can't walk around the pitch. It just shows to me that there's a lack of character in this side. When you go away and it's a little bit, you know, good atmosphere at Selhurst Park and all that, they're going to be up for it. These players can't perform, or don't want to perform, or aren't motivated to perform. Because people told me in the derby, they felt like we didn't really have a go. I thought the players had stuck to it in the derby. They were just outclassed, really. Arsenal, they full on had a go. But Brentford away and Palace away, I can't honestly say an hour ago they gave everything, because I don't believe they did.
No.
I think they went through the motions. Yeah. I think they run around, but to me it was a abysmal performance.
Yeah, and you just mentioned Brentford there. It felt very much like the Brentford game. You know, Crystal Palace struggling. It's basically in the same position we were on Monday night, desperate for a win. And you've got to go there and you've got to look at the situation and think, right, if we put pressure on these in the first 20 minutes and we have a real go at them, like we finished the Arsenal game, then, you know, forget about the atmosphere, forget about their better players. If you say we're going to push you back and we're going to bombard you and we're going to put long balls into dangerous areas and we're going to try and force you back, then you flip it, don't you? And you see what they're made of. And it was completely the opposite.
Do you think Everton's biggest problem is, and probably is that there's no like way of playing? And it's not, I don't mean that as in, like, you know, we don't pass the ball off from the back and play triangles and all that, but the approach to the games just seems so different. Like yesterday, we just seem happy to let the first 15 minutes they had 80% possession. Crystal Palace. No, it does sound disrespectful, but I don't mean it to be disrespectful.
No, it's Crystal Palace.
But they're a decent side, but they're not Man City.
They've got one more point than us, and that's because they beat us. They're not a good side.
Man City didn't have 80% possession, right?
They're not.
So what in our approach yesterday did we get so wrong in the opening 15
Crystal Palace are not a good side. They are a high energy side, and they've got a little bit of something different at the moment with the kid, you know, Gallagher, who done the damage. But they're not a good side.
But why couldn't we get near them?
We should have got a point out of this game, and we were awful.
No.
Like,
but why couldn't we get near them? That's what I'm saying.
Because the manager sets us up for failure.
Well, hang on. Okay,
but he does, though.
Listen, I'm not defending him. You know, I've just said to you, it's time, I think it might be time to change it. But We all asked for 3 in midfield.
No. That's
and
not.
He went with 3 in midfield.
That's not what I'm talking about.
So that's what I'm saying.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. He set us up for failure.
In what way?
In the way of being passive, in the way of standing back, in the way of thinking we can play. We can't play on the counter-attack because our defence is awful. That is a god-awful defence. Conceding 3 goals to Crystal Palace, that is a god-awful defence. You know, they're terrible. And you've got to be aggressive. That's what won us the game, and you're absolutely right against Arsenal. You're absolutely right. It was a different set of circumstances. But you take those circumstances and you say, right, for the first 20 minutes, we're going to push you back.
See what they've got.
And he didn't. No. He let them come into our half. He played Gomez in a position I don't think I've ever seen him play before. And he just said to Crystal Palace, you have the ball. Well, that might have worked when we played Brighton, when we had Dominic Calvert-Lewin and we had probably our best 11 and
Alan
and it was, you know, it was, you're playing against Brighton who, you know, don't really have a cutting edge. That might have worked that day. But Palace weren't stupid. Palace didn't get sucked into that. They didn't get sucked into throwing everyone forward. Their back four was still halfway in their half. They weren't being stupid. They were like, well, we've got pace as well. And when the time is right, we'll hit you with that pace. It's absolutely inconceivable to me that any manager can set up like that, unless it's the fucking FA Cup and you're playing. You're a second division team and you're playing a Premier League team.
Is that like for Everton Football Club? Is that criminal?
Yeah.
We were
above them in the table.
Yeah.
What are we scared of? What we might have been shite, but how can you go to a team like Crystal Palace and say, "Oh, we're going to let you have all the ball"? No, it's not about us.
I've seen Graham Souness saying about whether you take anything Graham Souness says seriously or not, but he kind of said the same thing. He said, why are Everton coming to Selhurst Park? I'm looking terrified at the ball.
If you play these tactics, right, you have to pick up points. If you play like this, you have to pick up points. If you're going to play in a style that nobody likes, you have to pick up points.
No, it has to be successful, yeah.
You know, people could, when Allardyce came in, right, and this is the only kind of football I could compare it to, he won points and he got us out danger, and then he was criticised for actually when we were in a decent position for not having a little bit more ambition. That's where people started having a go at him. But we're playing these tactics against teams who are bang average, because that's what Palace are. They're a point above us, and they're bang average. And we've just gone to Selhurst Park, a place we haven't lost for God knows how long, and he's basically just gone, I'll let you have all the ball. What do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen? And it's not about being, by the way, us being good in possession. We're not. But you've got to have aggression. You've got to be on the front foot. You've got to push them back and say, no, you start from back there. And if
you've got a great defence and a good goalie, you can do that. Because a great defence and a good keeper, I'm not saying Pickford isn't good, but what I mean, if you've got a great defence, then you will let teams have it, because you will think we'll play on the counter, because these aren't going to give anything away. But we do give things away, because no matter who you give up the ball to, if they have the ball for long enough, they're going to cause you problems, no matter who it is.
More chances, more opportunities.
Exactly. So, and if your defence is poor like ours is at the moment, you're just asking to concede goals. And that's ultimately
and the goals, you know, the goals come because of that. The goals come because we give up mistakes. And why are we giving up mistakes? Because we're allowing them to get into dangerous areas where you know, the first goal, nothing had really happened in the game. Yeah, they'd had loads of pressure and they'd had a couple of half chances, a couple of good blocks.
We'd had a couple.
But it comes from a ball from the right. Seamus Coleman having absolutely zero composure, just kicking at it. Gray losing his head, stupid, trying to head it back and not getting anything on it. We really should be hooking it that way. And then Michael Keane going, oh, okay, you don't have as much time as you want, mate. Not engaging, but that comes from the way we play.
But he'd already done it in the build-up to where Coleman cleared it, Keane. They got Ayew in there on the back, and instead of him coming over fast and blocking the cross, he let him fire it across.
That's what we've got at the moment. We've got players who just walk round because there's no intensity. There's no... Palace were all about intensity. Yesterday, they were all about get on the ball and get the play. I seen there was a little bit clip on Match of the Day 2, I think it was, and it showed that Ayew, and he was playing on the right. And we broke with the ball, and it was when Gomez had a little run through the middle, and he come back, and all he did was put a bit of pressure on, and he forced Gomez to kick it out wide, and then it ends up going out for a throw, and then we lose the ball. And it's just stuff like that, where players are like, right, I'm going to get in your face, I'm going to win fouls, I'm going to be intense. We've got Delph and Gomez standing off, and Decore in the wrong position, and it's just all wrong, and it's like, it showed you tonight that it's not hard. It's not hard. You inject a little bit of intensity into your game, and suddenly everyone's levels go up. But we stand on the edge of our box and then invite them, and the lad gets in the box, and Michael Keane goes, oh, you know, and it's that goal again that we keep on conceding. Ball pulled across, and a lad comes in and taps it in. One against Liverpool, 2 against Liverpool, 1 against Arsenal, and now 1 against Palace. Because players have got no intensity.
Watford, 3 against Watford.
Yeah, because players have got no intensity, because they jog around, because there's no one saying to them, what the fuck are you doing? The captain's just, he can walk around doing all this all he wants after we've won a game. But if you can't physically do something in a match that prevents the opposition to score, then what are you doing on the pitch? Did it twice. And it comes from, for me, listen, I've called the players out all season, I'll continue to call the players out. But if you're not getting them going, if you're not sending them out charged up, if you're not sending them out with the world's against you, you're in this together. If you're not sending them out with these, like, the way we play is like, you said before, what's the style? There isn't a style. What he's attempting to do is play in the counter-attack. But how do you play on the counter-attack when A, you can't defend, and B, that you're not playing in a way that counter-attacking isn't stopping the ball on the edge of the area and then breaking. Counter-attacking is creating situations where you get the opposition to come out. You almost set them up. They're coming out, and you create that space behind the back. You know, like it or don't like it, but that's what Ancelotti was doing at this time last year. He was setting up the opposition at times.
Thought he was still shite.
Well, he looks like a fucking genius now.
Well, he does next to this fella. Yeah. He does.
Right. But he was setting up opportunities to get in behind teams. You know, does the manager even believe in it? Because if he believes in it, Rondon would be starting up front. Because Richarlison isn't the kind of player who, for me, you can, like we said this before, did great the other night. But in a game like this, it's Gray on one side, Richarlison on the other for me. So does the manager even believe in his own tactics? Because surely Richarlison is nothing like Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's nothing like him. We've said this before. Rondon is. If you believe in your tactics, you play Rondon. So I don't think the manager even believes in it, but he's got no options. He's got no options. He's got no other idea. And now, with the amount of defeats we've had, put it this way, if it was year 2, he'd be out the door by now. If it was year 2. If it was year 2 and this is the way, he'd be out the door. It's that to me yesterday was raising the white flag. It really was. I've seen us in other games where I've thought little bits of defending. Yesterday to me was like they raised the white flag. Going to Crystal Palace, a team below us.
Are we just in a situation now where we've got the left back's not involved, even though he's one of our most creative. We've got Richarlison throwing his arms up. You know, Benitez can come out and go, well, he knew that we said we were taking him off if he wasn't in the game. But he didn't look like he knew. He was fuming when he come off. He's fuming on the bench. We've got fans clearly unhappy. They've made another long journey to London, seen us lose again. Players don't
look happy.
They don't look like they believe in what they're doing.
And that's it. That's the end of it.
The problem is now, and we've said it before, that it isn't all on the manager. We know that. There's big, huge problems at the football club, but you can't, I don't think you can continue to let things run because you've backed the horse. And I think the owner has got to get a grip. You know, Koeman was sacked when it was nowhere near as bad as this. Silva was sacked. Okay, we were poor under Silva, but we'd had a good first season and we hit a bad run and he was chased. You know, Allardyce was chased because he wanted them out. So he's made the cuts when he's needed to, and it looks like right now, unless, I think the problem with Benitez is, and people who, Liverpool fans will probably tell you this anyway, but there is no other way with him, is there? So if he's gone, all we're doing is playing this counter-attack. He's not going to look and go, these players don't really suit what I'm trying to do. We need to change something. Because we know, because we've watched some of these players for years, what they can do and what they can't do. We know that just by going the match, as everybody watching will know just by going the match. You can't look at Andre Gomez and think, oh, he's box to box and he'll be winning great tackles. Can't tackle. He literally doesn't tackle. No. Doesn't. He pulls out of most things. He's good on the ball when the game's slow. For me, he's a sub for 25 minutes at the end of a game. That's all he is now. That's when the game's pace drops and he can get on the ball, he's decent. He fades the minute he starts games. You know the limitations of certain people. Michael Keane will have one really good game like he did on Monday and be back to being all over the place from straight crosses, not knowing where the ball is and it's behind him. And yet this manager just seems to just send the same thing out with the same plan. If you've only got 13 players, then fine, but at least try and do something different, then move them around. Someone said to me last night, why aren't you angry on your Mathew? And it was like, I was angry watching the game, but I can't get angry for stuff that is the same thing all the time. It's just, you've seen it so many times, and we keep, I sat there yesterday, 2-1 down with 12 minutes left, thinking, he'll throw Sims on this time. Got to, we're getting beat, it doesn't matter. We're getting beat, go for it, because he didn't do it the other week. And it was nonsense that he didn't do it. And the time ebbed away again. Just ebbed away. Palace had the ball. If we were 2-1 up at home against them, we wouldn't get out of our box. They had the ball all day, just dead calm. Up in our half. There was nothing. He's passionless. He might be a good coach, I'm sure he is. Like training or like methodical and all that, but I think Everton. But the players we've got, we need enthusiasm.
The problem is, at the moment,
we need something.
He's like a cornered rat. So we were told this before he took over. When everything's against him, he doesn't seek out new ideas. He doubles down on what he wants and what he's doing. So there's no way on earth Mason Holgate should have started this game. He had the opportunity to just say, Luca Dean's trained well and he's back. Dead simple. But no. So we've got a back four of Seamus Coleman, Michael Keane, Mason Holgate and Ben Godfrey playing out of position. Because you haven't... Because you've...
Jared Brantwaite's just signed in a 3.5 year deal.
You've left him out the side, and I appreciate that. But you've left him out again. But you've got Mason Holgate. You've got Mason Holgate. Yeah, like
he was
that.
Sent off a couple of weeks ago.
You know, it's baffling. I know Alan's not available, but Delph comes in like for like, and then you say to Gomez, just sit in front of the back four with him and let the Corey be the highest player. Don't forget that last 20 minutes against Arsenal, Corey was probably the most important player in the pitch for breaking between the lines. You know, he set up Richarlison for the first, the one that was this lad in the second half. He was so prominent in the way, in getting us up the field, an extra body, having the energy, and he leaves him tucked behind again. And it's like, mate, that's like, we've defended him, we've put loads of criticism on the players, and I'll put loads of criticism, but he waved a white flag yesterday, and that to me is unacceptable. That's unacceptable. That is unacceptable, waving the white flag against Crystal Palace.
But he done the same at Brentford. It was the same at Brentford. There was options at Brentford. There was different ways to play at Brentford. If Luca Dean, if you're thinking I'm not playing him for a couple of weeks because of he's out of order and all that, right? Fine. If you got to stick to your principles because you don't want to lose the team, you don't want, fine, right? But we've got Jared Brantwaite there, who's a young, tall centre back. He's left-footed, so play him left back then. If you really had to put him centre back with Keane, or play him left back and put.
But we keep on handing out these contracts to these young players, and we just don't seem to see them ever again.
Brandway will, because I think he's got a higher ceiling, but just play him. But like Holgate, like how's he come in from? He got sent off a 3-match ban. He's back in the team. It's like, and I don't really put any. I don't think Holgate was that bad yesterday, but it's just there's no like, I don't know. There's no continuity anywhere. There's no like belief in what we're doing. Like the midfield, I've said before, Gomez for me he's either playing for an hour or he comes on for the last half an hour. Give Gabamon a go, or give Onyango a go. Try these Delph. It just doesn't. Delph and Gomez in the same midfield not going to really work, I don't think, unless it's the last, like I said, last 20 minutes. There's just nothing. There's not. He doesn't even try to. Even the substitutions at the moment are just doing. He's fallen into that like Marco Silva subs where it's like you're changing someone with the same player. Yeah. And I know Everton haven't got tons of options for different players, but we did have on a bench like Onyango who can run. We did have Sims who no one knows what they didn't know about.
Going back to what you said there before, you're 2-0 down, you get to the hour and you think Richarlison's the problem. Are you mad? Like, Townsend was terrible. Get him off the pitch.
He was poor.
Get the fella up front and stick Richarlison in behind him and Gordon on and go, right, well, we've got 4 now.
Let's see what we can do.
Let's see what we can do. You know, midfield will take care of it. You know, midfield will sort itself out.
When you're 2 down, and I don't like advocating for this, but when you're 2-0 down like that, if you'd have stuck Rondon with Richarlison, go and just play on the 2 centre-backs and said to Gray and Gordon or Townsend if he left them on. Just tuck him wide and we're going to go long and get up and support. Said to you 2 midfielders, just work, you two sit in. It's not exactly what you want to see, because you want to see build-up play, but you're 2-0 down, your points are important.
But the point being is the sub worked in the sense of we started getting higher up the pitch because we had an extra attacking player and we had 1 less midfielder right in there. So, and we got a goal back and we started getting up more up. We weren't great, but we started to just get into better areas and be higher up the pitch. So imagine if that player had been Richarlison on the pitch there, who's feels like he's obviously in better form. He hasn't had a kick for an hour because we haven't got anywhere near him. And you think you're getting bodies around him then, and you take him off. To me, that sub now is that's finished Benitez with most of the fans. Because and people can come out and say what they want, Richarlison, petulance and all this. No, sorry. Richarlison wants to win the game. And in this regard, he's right. Because he's thinking, I'm in good form, I've not had a tap, and all you're going to do is replace me. But you're going to give that fella the opportunities because you're bringing another winger on. So why not have both of us on it? We're 2-0 down. We score a goal and we get a couple more opportunities.
Let's talk about the second goal, which I don't know. First and foremost, what VAR is there for, I'll never know. Because it was a foul on Coleman. Zaha pulls Coleman down, and then they seize the ball and they break. It should have been stopped for a free kick to Everton. End of story. But that's by the by. They get a corner and was set up all right, and Ben Godfrey's got 1 man to mark. And a corner, not even a great corner, comes in and he's on his own. And he just knocks it in. And you're like, you're trying to stay in a game. And you do that. And then when we get back to 2-1, we get an opportunity with Anthony Gordon. Best bit of football we probably played, really, apart from the one in the first half when Godfrey crossed it for Gomez. Gordon gets in and he's got Damari Gray for a little cutback. It goes for obviously wants the goal himself.
But he goes for the textbook finish, doesn't he? Across the goal.
Yeah, it's a good save, to be
fair. If the keeper palms it, someone gets a tap in. It's the textbook, it's what they teach you. Yeah. I thought he should have gone high.
It's an eye.
Coleman
there a few years ago.
I thought he should have hit an eye into the roof of the net. I think the keeper was already on his way down.
That was the moment, wasn't it?
It's one of those. It's one of them. It's a bit like Tom Davis, isn't it? It's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. It's like, the keeper makes a save.
It's a good save.
He makes a save, and all you're thinking is someone's tapping this in.
Just go
and it just rolls past Rondon, I think, and then someone gets a touch on before it's away from Gray. But going back to the corner, Godfrey, it's shocking from him. But it's shocking from all of them because they're all in a position. They're all in their positions But again, it's the passiveness of it. No one, that ball goes through about 4 players. And it would also, and that's what's probably cost Ben Godfrey, is because he probably thinks, and he shouldn't think like this, but he probably thinks that ball's not going to get to me. And it takes him a little bit by surprise. Tompkins has switched on and he's not. And it's just like the passiveness though, again, if it's like players are, and this is what winds me up, because you don't have to be a good player to have that kind of aggression and to be on it.
On the game.
On the game. You don't have to be amazing. You just need, I think Palace have shown that this season. It's like, and other teams have shown that, Brentford has shown it. You know, you don't have to be amazing. You just have to be on it and want it. And our players don't look like they want it.
They don't want it.
And that comes from them, and that comes from, you know, we know that comes from the manager as well, because he's already fallen out with Dean. And now, you know, I don't know, he might fall out with Richarlison, whatever, I don't know. But when players walk on the pitch and they look so passive, you know, there's this thing of like, why the players suddenly turn around when they're playing for one manager? Funny, I was telling you before, I was watching the Bayern Munich documentary on Amazon, and I was watching, and this is what actually proves the point in a way. So they had that manager, didn't he? Nico.
Nico, yeah.
Dingo. They sack him in Kovac. They're like, it was November, they were talking about relegation, genuinely, under him. They sack him, and they won every single trophy under the other fella. Yeah. Every single trophy. They won 6 trophies under him. They won everything. Yeah. Because the players, you could see it on the players, they just didn't like playing for him. There was just something about the way he set them up or whatever, day to day, that they just didn't like. Flick comes in, they all like him, he was the assistant manager. Next minute, they go and... First game they played afterwards, I think they lost the last game 5-1, and I think the first game they won. I think the next one they beat Dortmund away. And they just... That was it. And that was it. And they went and won everything then. And it's like... So it does affect... It affects everyone. It's not just good players, bad players. It can be, you know, good players. They get worn down during the week. And I'm not saying that's the case, but I just can't... I can't, for the life of me, understand. It was like people said this of Arteta the other night. Why would you go to Goodison and just be like, why didn't you come to Goodison, team in an absolute free fall, despair, everything's going on? Why didn't you go there and just go, bum, but we're having a go at you? It's like the same for us, and I'm not saying, for the first 20 minutes, I would have been, put pressure on these. Don't let them move, and let's see how long that one keep singing. And let's see, you know, get Gallagher, give him a couple of, give him a couple.
Compete, yeah. No, there was nothing there. There was nothing there, and you know, like you say, Anthony Gordon could equalise and keeper makes a good save, and then that was it. And there was still, with injury time, there's still about another 8 or 9 minutes, and we didn't do anything. You know, and then we allowed them to buy stupid free kicks. I mean, Benteke should have been sent off as well. Naughty tackle. And then we get a free kick, and Seamus Coleman, I honestly haven't got a clue what he was doing, because I can't even process what was going through his mind, even if it would have hit Ayew and he'd have been booked, because we still would have had the free kick on the touchline.
Do you know, to me there, you're the captain, right? You tell everybody to get up the pitch, and you tell Jordan Pickford to take it.
There's 92nd minute.
Throw it 5 yards forward.
You go and get it forward. We're getting up because we're getting beat. Yeah. We've got to get the ball down there. Because he's got a cob on, because obviously he's struggling himself with his game, he tries to kick the ball against them, smashes it past them. Gomez nicks it off Benteke and should just clear it, and then tries to do that thing that he thinks he can just dink it around people, and Gallagher pops it in the top corner. Ayew just starts laughing in Coleman's face. And that would have been the thing that would have, if I was the captain, I would have gone, right, I'm done. Yeah.
I'm Gary Neville.
Full Gary Neville. Because I've just acted like a 14-year-old kid, and the fellas laughed at me because he saw what I was trying to do, and we've lost the game. Yeah. It was just pathetic. Yeah, it was pathetic. And he can put his hand up and go, oh, you know, I cost us in the derby. But yes, you cost us again, mate. There's a big problem there now.
Yeah, there's no leadership. There's a big problem. I don't know how many times we have to say that. There's no leaders on the pitch. There's no one who takes responsibility. And, you know, How many times do people need to come out and say, oh, it was my fault, I did that? It's basic stuff. It's basic stuff. It's running hard. It's being aggressive. Like, look at them yesterday. They were so aggressive, yet they're not giving fouls away. They're just getting people around. There's this thing, there's this thing in football at the moment. It's called pressing. Basically, what you do is you just crowd round people and don't foul them, and then take the ball off them. None of our players.
How many times yesterday did 2 of our players go to someone who just waltzed through them and come out the other side with the ball, and you're like, what are you doing?
It's just embarrassing to watch, and you're just sitting there thinking something has to change, because this can't go on. It's another defeat.
Well, 7 out the last 8 games we've lost, which is just criminal. We've won 1 game in 11, which is embarrassing. We go to Chelsea on Thursday. Let's be honest, you know that I'm normally quite positive. I don't see any way how that isn't 8 out of 9 games lost. Yeah. Because I don't see. I mean, we've got like a graphic now, haven't we, of the last 9 games? There it is on the screen. And there's Everton bottom. 1-1, drawn 1, lost 7. 4 points. Even average teams have took, Spurs have only played 7 games and they've got 13 points. And, Tottenham changed the manager when they knew it wasn't working. Villa changed the manager when they lost 3 on the run. Yeah. Norwich changed the manager. Newcastle changed the manager. And you're looking and going, we have tried to get behind the manager and the team, because it is a bigger issue than him.
I think yesterday just said to me, it's never going to work. And I didn't want that to be the case. I wanted it to be work, because I want Everton to win games of football. But the fans are never going to accept them. And I think some of the players don't accept them. And they don't accept them for the reasons of the football, coming to work every day and playing a style of football that is not only rubbish, but it's not getting us results. It's not getting us the best. Not getting. People can keep saying. I seen it last night. Dead funny. The own Dublin. That's what happens when you don't have a number 9, because Dom's out. It's like, what's the style of play that's going to get Dominic Calvert-Lewin loads of goals? Where's that going to come from?
It's a dangerous notion to just think when Dom's back it's all right, because he's not played. It'll be 4 months almost that he's not played for, so he's not going to hit the ground running, is he? He's going to take a month to get up to speed. And so if we continue to do what we're doing, you're talking mid-January before he's at, then you've got to win every other game. And I think it's not even that for me. I look at it and just think, right now, we haven't got we can't spend any real money. So we can't go and get loads of players that are going to make us boss. There's no real... I just look at it. It's really hard to win the Premier League, isn't it? Really, really hard to win the Premier League. It's really hard to win a cup now, because teams who have got those big squads can play the reserves and they're still better than most teams. So it's really hard to pick up a trophy. So as a fan, when you accept that, you think, well, what's the next thing then? Well, the next thing is to try to get into European football. So finish 6th or 7th, which is embarrassing. That should be your aim, but that's what it is. So as a fan, you go, well, if I'm not going to win the league, I'm not going to win a cup, then at least I want to see us. At least I want to see us having a game of footy, having a go.
And I think that's what you saw yesterday from Palace. That's what you see from Palace. They're a point above us, but they're pulling in the same direction. They're seeing that the players are all trying. They're seeing that the manager wants to play good football and has been unlucky in certain games. And yesterday it all come together for them. They got their just rewards, where maybe in other games, but they're all pulling in the same direction. This club is pulling itself apart. It's pulling itself apart, and that's only going to go one way. It's only going to go one way. And fans want something to believe in. They want to believe in the manager. They want to believe in players. And at the moment, it's hard when. What makes it what's making it worse for me is coming off the back on Monday night and seeing what it takes to win games of football: aggression, passion, bit of creativity, bit of belief, and going for it. Yesterday was just the opposite for me, and that's to me where I just looked at the manager going, "You've learned nothing. You you are so stubborn in your approach that you can't see that the way for this football club is those things. They're not, tactically they might be the greatest things in the world, but Everton fans, they respond to that. They responded to it on Monday night. We do not respond to that. We do not respond to that kind of football. We do not. Someone said to me yesterday about the football being so bad and I said, the thing about Everton fans though, when we had Martinez in the first season, there was times when the football was really good and we didn't respond to that either. There's a certain way Everton fans, what they get behind and what they want to see, and it's passion and there's energy. And we haven't seen it much. Tottenham in the second half, Arsenal in the second half, Manchester United away.
Burnley.
The other night, yesterday, sorry, it wasn't there. And that to me, after what happened at Arsenal, that's just unacceptable.
Well, what the thing is, it started the season, results were quite good, weren't they? So we wouldn't have learned anything. Then he went on a bad run, not a sticky run. He went on a terrible run.
We're still in it.
I know we are. No, what I'm saying is, sorry, we're on a terrible run. And then we had that win against Arsenal. So you would have looked and gone, like, what did we do in that game that was different to that game? Why was that so good and the rest weren't? And then he reverted back to Brentford away. And it's like, you haven't learned then, you haven't seen what it took to get this team today. If you're a player and you're not enjoying going to work, you notice that as a fan. You look at their body language and you can't feed off it. As a football club, as a football fan, you want to get behind everything. You want that thing of like, we're all in it together. It's like us, it's the manager, it's the players, we can feed off each other. But you said before, and it's right, he's never going to get the support of the fans. So it almost just feels pointless. It feels like, what are we doing? Because no one's going to back him. Doesn't matter how good he is. This season had to be like almost perfect for us. Everything had to go in our favour. We had to play well and he had to achieve results so that people at the end of the season go, oh, he's done all right. And everything eases a little bit, everything calms down the noise. But it hasn't gone well. No. And we've had injuries and the club's in chaos now. It's chaotic at board level. The owner's MIA as per. And we've got a manager that most of the fans don't want. And the team aren't responding. And he's pissed off Luca Dean, and he's rightly or wrongly. Richarlison's not happy. And it just now is becoming one crisis after another. And it needs someone to get hold of it. That or a lot of people are going to get behind, even if not all, and go, right, how, we all have to do this together. Because you all want to believe in what you do. And I saw them the other week and they love the cheerleader, don't they? They love him and the players love him and the teams are great. And you're like, I never want to be jealous of Liverpool, but I was a little bit jealous of that thing of like, you're all going in that that same direction where we feel like there's about 40 fires going on at once and you don't know which one to put out. And that's what it feels like. And the manager's causing quite a few of them now, where I don't think he was 6 weeks ago. I think he's making everything worse. And maybe the people who told us this at the start of the season were right. That once the fires start to appear, he does make it worse because he doubles down on himself. Yeah. And maybe that's Everton's biggest issue.
Self-preservation now, it feels like. But, again, I have to say, the club have to take, a lot of the responsibility and blame for this because they don't, again...
They employ them.
They employ... But it's not that, though. They don't talk to us, so... They don't talk, they don't say what's going on, they don't, it's just a farce. It really is. The whole club's a joke. The whole club is just an absolute joke from top to bottom. And,
It's sad, isn't it?
It is sad. It is sad, and a lot of people now are like, people didn't get back yesterday till like nearly 12 o'clock because of roadworks and all kinds, and they'll be going against on Thursday, knowing that we're going to get battered by Chelsea. And it's just sad. It's just sad because the club's just been...
Do you feel I feel totally disconnected from the club. Yeah. Not so much that like it doesn't hurt me when we lose. They're disconnecting
themselves though.
But I just feel like I don't know what the club.
They're disconnecting themselves from us though. Like that's what I mean. It's it's self-preservation for them. They're disconnecting from us. You know, games like Monday night showed the power of the fans and the club being aligned. And they're disconnecting themselves because it's... After the match, the manager comes out and he's making it worse because he's alienating himself and he's saying, oh, I'm not sure Richarlison should have acted like that. And it's like, come out and go. He's shown a lot of passion there, and I love that. You know, fans are not stupid, and also fans don't like you, mate. So you ain't gonna get anything off us, and it will be that thing soon. It'll be him versus us, and that is a terrible look for this football club.
Well, it already is now, isn't it?
It's a terrible, yeah. But the away fans, yesterday you could hear them. You could hear them singing.
No, of course, yeah.
And that's basically. So you've got a club where fans are going to be. Fans don't like the manager, and it's going to get worse and worse. It's going to get worse and worse because what he had actually a couple of weeks ago was like, it's not my fault. Now it's like everyone's just like, well, who else is there to blame now? You know, I know it's only space a couple of weeks, but it's like, well, you're getting the blame now.
It is your fault.
You're getting the blame. I just, you have to, yeah, as I said, going to Crystal Palace and waving the white flag to me is just hilarious. It's just hilarious.
It's not funny though, is it?
You know, it's hilarious though as a football fan. It's just if you're a football fan, you're thinking, it's Crystal Palace, mate. Why have you thrown your hand in? It's just pathetic. It's just absolutely.
Should believe you can beat every team. That should be your mantra going out. It doesn't. It's 11v11. If you give every last drop you've got, and they better than you on the day, they're better than you on the day. But you shouldn't be going and setting up to. It's a weird thing. Some managers just set up in a way where you're just going to say, "Well, just give them the ball, and we'll just hope that," because then you have to almost outperform. Well, you do have to outperform your XG. Whenever you get a chance, you've got to take it.
The thing is about it as well, though, fans might tolerate it more if the way we play, if the defence, had something about it. But we've had, 2 clean sheets all season. But,
Stop it, mate.
Well, that's it, though. This is a fella who apparently can organise his defences brilliantly. Set pieces were brilliant last season. They're an absolute joke now. Absolute joke.
Set piece yesterday.
This fella was supposed to come in and make us.
That's what I thought. I thought he'd come in, tactically we'd be tight. Set pieces would be dead important. I basically thought, and I've said before, I've called him it before, he's the Spanish Sam Allardyce. Yeah. So that's what I thought we were getting. And I thought, and he's straight talking, so he'll do this and he'll do that. And yet, it doesn't seem, we're so porous, it's untrue. Watford and Palace have put 8 goals past us in the last few weeks. Brentford beat us. It's just... It'll be, like I said, we've lost 7 out the last 8. It'll be 8 out of 9 on Thursday. And it could be a heavy defeat because we do like to let a lot of goals in. How does he... I don't know how you then survive. We've got 1 win in 11 games. So it'll be 1 win in 12 unless a miracle happens on Thursday. I don't know how any manager survived 1 win in 12. I don't, honestly.
No, I don't.
Because I think, like I said before, Villa lost 3 games and they chased Dean Smith.
If there was signs, if there was a style, you can't use the excuse Dominic Calvert-Lewin anymore. You just can't. You can't use that excuse. The simple fact is there's no style of play. Fans don't like the way we play. Players clearly don't like the way we play. So, what are you building
I've
for?
said before, if he was throwing, like yesterday, if he'd have thrown on Sims at the end, for 15, and gone, we're going to do 2 up front, we're going to do this. If he was trying different things in the absence of his main players, and going, well, we thought 3 at the back might work, so we tried 3 at the back, 3-5-2, because we're trying to use what players we've got because we're missing a lot of it. You then feel sympathy and go, well, what really can he do? We're all asking for kids to be given a go. He's given people a go. We put on Yango on in the 92nd minute at Man City the other week, 91st minute to go. I gave a kid a game. I do bring you through. Where the other managers go, yeah, mate, you're playing. You're playing today. That isn't the be all and end all, but I'd rather he threw everything at it.
I'd rather go into games like that, having a go, swinging.
Of course.
And that's not going, we're playing 3 up front and we're going to go, you know, no, that's like having aggression and that. I don't think we need a tactician. I think we need a motivator. I think these players just look, they're very average footballers, and I think they can be taught, they can be coached the basics. I don't think I think we need a motivator, and I just don't think this fella motivates anyone. He certainly doesn't motivate me. After games like that, and I've tried to back him, but I just look at games like that and I just think there was no sign yesterday to me that we were going anywhere.
No.
Like there's no sign that the defence is solid. There's no signs that we've got a style of play. There was no. The tactic is get it to Gray. That's the tactic. That's the tactic. Get it to Gray. And I just think if you're coming into a period like now, but the problem is, and this is the problem, we're coming into an area where we probably need to bring in, you know, players, whether they be on loan or whatever. You'd be sacking your manager and you've just sacked your recruitment team. Brilliant. Well done. Well done, Everton.
There's other things to do in that period though, isn't it? You can still bring players in, no matter who you get in. Say they give it to Ferguson. Say Ferguson took over. He's still got a few weeks for the thing opens. He's a coach, you know, you get people in. There'll be agents. You know what you need. It's not like someone coming in going, oh, what? Especially with Dunk. You'd go, well, he knows you need a right back. He knows we need another midfield player. And then you're looking around going, you know, we could do with something else as well, up front maybe or whatever. And you look around, see what's available on loan. So you can get by with it. And then everything, the planning then needs to be for the summer. But the club are having a strategic review of recruitment. Well, they need to worry up. But would you trust those people who are doing the review?
I don't trust anyone at the football club.
It's a joke. The whole thing's a joke. Like you said, we're going into another game. We've lost another game of football. There's no, like you said, there isn't any visible signs anything's getting better. There isn't visible signs that we've nailed down a way of playing. There's nothing. You know, every game, there's 2 different players out the team from the last game you play. And we're going to Chelsea Thursday, who are going for the title. You'd expect a heavy defeat. And then, like I said, for me then, I don't know how you survive that. I really don't. Unless you can somehow turn it around and produce a miracle on Thursday. I think Everton, you know, possibly be
I'll be honest, I'm not even thinking about Chelsea, I'm thinking about Leicester.
No, but that's it, isn't it? Because we then into a block of games we could get results from. So
we have
for me,
to get results
no,
from.
we do. So for me, if Everton get trunked on Thursday, then I think we need to make the change. Because I just don't know how it would turn otherwise. Because once the fans are going too far the other way, you're not getting them back.
No, you never
And the fans are the biggest thing at this football
He's
club.
never getting the fans back, ever. I mean, they have most of them,
No.
but he's never getting them back.
So
and
the fans are what this football team
and
needs,
the ones who are like, well, we'll just let him get on with the job because we don't want to be sacking another manager. I think they're looking at it now going, well, we're going to have to sack another manager because those results speak for themselves.
It's a results game.
As I said, you don't get away with that in year 2.
You shouldn't be getting away with year 1.
You know,
if Spurs had the balls to get rid of Santos, whatever his name is, after 10 games, then over to you, Farhad.
Let's just look at the stats from the game. 61% possession. Yeah. 17
shots to 12, 6 both had 6 on target. 2 big chances for Palace, 1 for Everton. But what can you do? You know, it was like the Brentford thing the other week, the same. You know, we had more attempts and this, that and the other. We lose the game. It's just games that you should be getting points from. You're just getting beaten. And without, if they were playing a certain way and things weren't falling, you go, I can see where we're going now. And once it clicks, we'll be fine. Yeah. But you're looking going, it still looks in December like 11 fellas. They don't look like they train.
No. They don't look like a team.
And you look at them and go, we're asking Delphi, no one wants anywhere near the club.
Anywhere near, no.
To play in, it just all feels horrible at the moment. Feels absolutely horrible.
Yeah. Something's got to, I don't know.
Something's got to give.
I don't know whether it will give, but there you go.
No, probably won't.
There you go. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. on this one. Where do you stand now on Rafa Benitez? It's the situation with him. Yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to give this video a like if you are watching and you want to watch more of this video, or if you want to watch this video live, then join us on Patreon, where we do every single final word live. And there'll be a little bit more now as we leave you to go on to the patrons, answer some questions, and really rip some people a lot more. There you go. Thanks for watching. See you later.